Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily, presented by Rouge Casino, TK and Baton Rouge at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, where they're getting ready for a big holiday weekend. I am coming to you from the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame studios in Dallas, Texas, and we're presented by Rouge Casino over at the Barstool Sportsbook. Still the best place to watch everything in the world of sports. Right there, great food. I know I had a lot of friends that were there for the national championship final on Monday night, taking it all in, partying with all their LSU fans. Speaking of partying, Tommy, quite the party at Alex Box Stadium a couple of nights ago, Wednesday night. 9,000 folks in the stands at Alex Box. LSU did it right. I saw some of the highlights. I was busy working a high school baseball tournament for ESPN this week up in Dallas. I didn't get a chance to watch it all live, but did get a chance to see some of the highlights online, and they did it first class.
Well, they really did. About 8,000 people braved the heat. It was very, very hot. That was right when the sun was setting there. But no, I thought it was great to have Coach Bertman and Coach Maneri there. As the players went on, they paraded in from like the left field corner. There was a stage between the plate and the mound, for lack of a better word. And they all entered the stage from the first base side of the stage. And Coach Bertman and Coach Maneri, every player and everybody in the thing shook his hand. It was a one-on-one like parade thing, one at a time. So it was great. I think I sent you the picture. It's a great picture. Coach Bertman, Coach Johnson, and Coach Maneri. If not, I'll get it to you. But it was well done. It was Bill Franquez did a great job as the MC. They had some video clips of to play with Morgan and Milazzo, and they had a clip of Cade Beloso. And of course, the picture that's really making the rounds is back in 2009, Ryan Schimpf, national champion, good friend of yours. He's got a picture with a young Cade Beloso who's got his LSU baseball jersey, his LSU hat, said he wore 16 in high school because of Ryan Schimpf. And that picture has just gone nuts on social media, and rightfully so. So just so many stories. The best thing, that you heard the story about Rhett Lauder. They asked Trey Morgan the funniest thing about Omaha. What was his funniest memory? Apparently, Wake Forest and LSU were in the same hotel. Rhett Lauder did like the waiter or the DoorDash thing, and some LSU guys intercepted the delivery, and he never got his food. So, and you were in Omaha as a player, there's always been some antics that people find out about later. That might have been one of them ones we'd find out about later. I go back to, I think, 91 or 93, you can correct me, when kind of did some damage to the visiting locker room. LSU got the big bill for it. Herb Vincent paid it. That story didn't come out right away. So, but no, it was a tremendous celebration. Jay Johnson he had 2 recruiting visits Tuesday night as soon as he got back. He's already got some going. A friend of mine's stepson was offered by Jay yesterday. So, I mean, he is not stopping. There's a lot of shoes to fill on this team, but what a night at Alex Box. The Intimidator, which will be updated for next year, but this was basically about this national championship, and the crowd and the fans. It was a heck of a night to celebrate. Somebody asked me, said, how come they don't have a parade? I said, well, come Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, most of them guys are back out of town for whatever the reason, going to play summer ball, going home, whatever. When girls basketball won, they still had 2 weeks of class when they got back to campus. That's why you had a parade. So, but the celebration was great, well planned by LSU. A lot of people did a lot of hard work with all the video clips and the script for everything that went down. And I enjoyed watching it, and it was cool. And I'm going to have to text Bill Franquez, but he did a super job.
Going back to the Lauder interception, by the way, Tom, I don't know if you've ever ordered Uber or DoorDash or whatever, but now they give you a code, so like when the person gets to the hotel, you're supposed to give them the code. So the DoorDash person didn't do their job.
Well, they probably paid off the DoorDash person.
Well, look, that was great. That's pretty funny that happened. Going back to just kind of putting a bow on this year's team and whatnot, it's amazing how, like, we talk about, is this the greatest LSU team of all time? And I say, when Paul Skeens is on the mound, yes, it is. I mean, you've never had the likes of a Paul Skeens, a Dylan Cruz, and a Tommy White all on the same team. And so When Skeens is pitching, yes. When they have their ace, yes, it's the best team. But it's amazing how close this team came to not being the best team, right? I mean, it took a Tommy White home run or a Cade Beloso home run. It took good fortune. Even the regionals against Oregon State, they had a battle. You know what I mean? Like, and some fortune their way. Like and that's always the case. It's not original to this team. I mean, 1997, when they hit 188 homers and won the national championship that year against Alabama, they had to win an extra inning elimination game against Long Beach State at home when Skip Bertman got thrown out the game. It was that close to disaster, and that's just baseball, partly baseball. I mean, it's that kind of sport that it's not football where, hey, we didn't win by 5 touchdowns, what's wrong? It's if you win by 1, you take it sometimes, and it goes, nothing better goes to show you the sport and how different it is and how you don't judge it by how many runs you beat your opponent by looking at on Sunday, when they got just absolutely destroyed by 20 runs and looked like they weren't even in the same class as the Florida. Then they go out the next day and do the same thing to Florida and win the national title. It's that kind of game. I had this conversation yesterday, Tommy. I'm at the Geico High School National Championships in Dallas and talking with different coaches and stuff from around the country. These are all the premier best high school coaches in America that are coaching these teams. And they all, a couple of them pointed out, you got to love baseball. I mean, where else can you get beat by 20 the day before, and then the next day you look like the team that did it? You flip the script and you win the national championship. I mean, that just doesn't happen in other sports.
I agree with you, and that's one of the beauties of baseball. And like we talked about Wednesday on Sports Shorts Daily, 2 years ago Mississippi State won the title. Last year Ole Miss won. They both kind of trended downward a little bit, did not have good seasons at all. I don't think that's going to happen with LSU. As we mentioned, Jay Johnson's already burning up the recruiting business, the recruiting trail, the portal, the whole bit. So he's not going to rest. I don't think he's ever had a day off in his life, and I'm sure somewhere he did. But this team's not going to trend downward. You would think they're back in Omaha next year. Well, and once you get to Omaha, you need to have a lot of luck and fortune, like you talked about, which they had this year. To play with Morgan and Milazzo, to catch by Josh Pearson. I mean, we can go down the list, but I don't think this team's going to trend downward. I don't think Jay Johnson will allow that to happen.
It's so this week for Jay Johnson, and you mentioned all the players that are coming in on visits and stuff, and then also he's got his exit meetings with his players yesterday and today. He's meeting with those guys. A lot of them are either going forever or going to summer ball or going back home or whatever the case may be. So that's taking place as we speak. We still haven't heard a pitching coach yet. And that is going to have an effect on players. Like, for example, with the Baton Rouge Rougarou, Nick Bronzini, he pitched last night in relief for the Rougarou. He's an LSU redshirt freshman. We've got DJ Primo from Central is going to be joining us in about a week and a half. I talked to him yesterday. He's coming off of a knee injury. Got cleared, going to throw a couple bullpens the next few days, and then he'll be joining us probably late next weekend. Gavin Guidry waiting to get his timeline on when he's going to speak with him today on when he's going to join us and play infield only, not pitch. But Aiden Moffitt was originally going to play with us. He's now playing in Wisconsin because because Wes Johnson left as pitching coach. And when Wes Johnson left, he was going to stick around to see Wes and let Wes see him pitch and this, that, and the other. But when Wes left, he elected to go off and play somewhere. And so those little things happen when you make coaching changes. Guys may leave that were Wes Johnson fans or were his guys. And then you may have other guys come in because the opportunity presents itself to have a different pitching coach. So we'll find out all those things in the next couple days, next couple weeks. I suspect we're going to have a pitching coach much sooner than later.
I agree with that. And, all rosters change, not just when you win the national title.
Right.
And you change. He had major changes to the coaching staff after last season. So that's just part of the landscape now. And then with the portal and the NIL stuff, lots of things will change. No question about that. And it's not unique to LSU. I mean, Wake Forest is going to have changes. Florida's going to have changes. Everybody's going to have changes. So I'm curious to see how it goes forward for LSU.
So speaking of the Baton Rouge Rougarou, they're in action tonight. Big night tonight. Firework Friday. Jerry Lane Chevrolet fireworks during the 7th inning. It's Gordon McKernan free ticket night. You don't even have to bring your wallet to get in. You just everybody gets in free tonight thanks to Gordon. We got a lot of special guests. Cade Beloso is going to throw out the first pitch and sign some autographs and stuff. The LSU hero. So and many more. So come on out tonight. Make sure you get there early. Game's first pitch 7:05. Gates open at 6. We got Christian Specialty Meat hamburgers, Kirkland hot dogs, all kind of great stuff. We're giving away a first 100 cans of beer are free thanks to Heineken Silver. I mean, like all kinds of promotions going on. We got the party deck tickets available. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet, all-you-can-eat beer, soft drinks. Limited amount of tickets for that tonight on the LeBear's Lounge on the Pinnacle Construction Party Deck. LeBear's Lounge on the Pinnacle Construction Party Deck. And so make sure you make your plans to come on out tonight. Fun for the whole family. You don't want to miss it.
No, I agree. I'm looking forward to it. Patrick Wright and I'll be on the call on TCL TV. If you're somewhere around the country, you can watch the stream. Tomorrow night, home again. That game will be on TCL TV and also be on 104.5 ESPN Radio tomorrow night. Patrick Wright and I again on the call for that one. And of course, once you're at the park, there's so much going on tonight. The fireworks show last week was fabulous. It's going to be fabulous tonight. So come on out to Pete Goldsby Field. It's Rougarou time. LSU's done. College baseball's done. You know, most travel ball's done. Now, there's some still going on, but the majority of it's done. So it's all about the Rougarou now.
You know, what's interesting, Tommy, is that, the fireworks show, we've got it every Friday home game. So go to brrougarou.com. Any Friday home game, we're doing fireworks. And then also join us Wednesday, July 5th. Next Wednesday, you're in town in Baton Rouge or in the Baton Rouge area. Wednesday, July 5th, the Texas Collegiate League All-Star Game will be played at Alex Box Stadium. That's going to be a thrill for these players and fans. 7:05 first pitch on that game. And we will have the Home Run Derby at 6:30. So come in early, watch some of the best players in the TCL at the Home Run Derby at Alex Box Stadium. And then it's only a 7-inning game, the All-Star game. And then at the end of the 7th inning, we're going to have a big fireworks show in Alex Box Stadium. I know the Tigers had the fireworks the other night. The TCL is going to have the fireworks as well. That's going to be a lot of fun. So come check that out. Make your plans to attend Wednesday, July 5th at Alex Box Stadium. Tommy, the second Golden Spikes winner in history, Dylan Cruz. I mean, obviously the first one was Ben McDonald. It's hard to believe that it's been over 30 years since LSU's had a Golden Spikes Award winner. They've had many deserving. And the debate goes on, and the more you hear the talking heads speak, the national pundits, the local radio guys weigh in on the little bit of information they have from scouts. It sounds more and more like Dylan Cruz is the first pick. Will probably be the first pick just because of the trend that position players get taken over pitchers early in the first couple of rounds. If it's a question, I love Dylan Cruz. I think Dylan Cruz is arguably the best baseball player ever to play at LSU. But man, I think I would have I don't know that I could pass up on Paul Skeens because he's big league ready, Tommy. Give him a couple weeks off just to rest. And that guy right now can come out of your bullpen throwing 101 miles an hour and throwing strikes with 2 pitches. And then if you want to extend them and make him a starter later in the year or next year, that's fine. But like right now, that guy can get to the big leagues and make a giant impact for your team.
Well, the Pittsburgh Pirates have the first pick. The Washington Nationals have the second pick. And I was listening to MLB Network this morning on the way over here to Tremonti's, and they're saying they're going back to back. No school has ever had players pick 1 and 2. You've had some 1 and 3. UCLA with Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer went 1 and 3. And I want to say way back in the day, Bob Horner and somebody else from Arizona State went 1 and 3, long in the 70s. But it never had 1 and 2. It's fully expected that will happen. It's just who do the Pirates want? You know, I mean, who do the Nationals want? And if you talk to 10 people, you hear 5 want Skeens, 5 want Cruz. So July 9th is the draft. July 9th is when we'll get the answers to all of that good stuff. So it's remarkable. Look, that's going to be great publicity for LSU. That's a great recruiting tool. Jay Johnson had an interview I saw somewhere in all this stuff where he talked about every kid who comes to LSU wants to be a major leaguer, not a professional player, a major leaguer. And they were showing the thing in the LSU Hall of Fame at Alec Boxwood where they have every player who got to the major leagues picture and the team they were with and all that. And it was Johnson talking about, and I'm thinking, what a recruiting tool. I mean, everybody wants to be a major leaguer, but very, very few are. By the way, Ronnie, you know how many total major league players they have been since day one that have ever played at least one, like Rick Green, have played at least one day in the major leagues?
Ooh, well, what that number is?
I can tell you. I'm gonna give you a hint.
I'm gonna say that number is.
And I know the
150,000.
23,000 people.
23,000. That's it. That's the number.
That's it. That have been on a Major League Baseball roster for at least one day. Like Rick Green was like 4 days pitched once, and that. So I mean that if you put those people at LSU at a football game, you'd be like, "Where's the crowd?" So that's how elite it is. That's how tough it is to be a major leaguer. Jay Johnson, when Cruz and Skeens' name get called, even if it's not 1-2, which I think it will be, the power for LSU, the brand. Skip Bourbon always talks about the brand is so powerful, the purple and gold, the LSU. It's just going to add to it when, in fact, the draft takes place on July 9th. And then, of course, everybody's going to follow, their progress going forward.
LSU, I think at the moment, somewhere around 86, 87 players that have played at LSU have made it to the major leagues. I think that's the current number. And then as soon as these guys get drafted, we'll be talking about Tommy White, because I think Tommy White will be, as far as what's on the roster right now, he will be a lock first rounder next year. And look, he's that defensive third is continuing to get better and better and better. He was a lot better the last 3 weeks of the season at third base than he was the first three, I would say, or at least made some really nice plays that I didn't know that he could necessarily make. So I think Tommy White is definitely going to be a first round pick. It's a matter of will he be a top 10 pick or where he'll actually end up. And then there'll be others that we'll be talking about. But for right now, guys, so that number, Tommy, at 86 or so right now is going to be at 100 pretty quickly.
Yeah, I really think it will be. And, who knows about the other guys, a lot of ground to cover there. But it's been a fun ride so far. And keep your seatbelt on. There's plenty more riding to do with Jay Johnson and LSU baseball.
All right, we'll be back on the air tomorrow morning on Sports Shorts Radio from 10 to noon, 104.5 ESPN. Before we get out of here, one more baseball note. A perfect game pitched in the major leagues. I couldn't believe the low number. How many total perfect baseball have there been?
24.
Wow.
It's amazing. 24. But Diego Herman, right-hander for the Yankees, who was suspended 2 months ago for the stuff on his fingers he wouldn't wash the rosin off, threw a perfect game Wednesday night at Oakland. Total number of pitches. Now, everybody's into the pitch count world now. 99. 99 pitches, 27 up, 27 down. They blew out the A's, so the game was not a question. It was he going to finish the perfect game / no-hitter? So he throws the perfect game, fourth perfect game in Yankee history. And, man, that's amazing. I was actually watching that game and fell asleep. I knew he had a no-hitter going like fourth or fifth, but, that's fourth or fifth inning. But then when I woke up and I saw that he threw the perfect game, that's pretty darn cool.
I mean, 24 in the history of the game. We're talking about, 150 years or 140 years, whatever the heck it is with Major League Baseball. And to only have 24, I don't know which is more unbelievable, that number or the 23,000 players that have played at least one game in the Major Leagues. That's an exclusive club. And how about the Yankees that had, four of them?
Yeah. No hitters are rare, perfect games, even, more.
Hit batters. Nobody made an error, besides the hit.
Yeah, but no, we got to tip our hat to that. That was pretty cool to read about it and the highlights. That was pretty cool. Well, hey, Ronnie, I'm looking forward to the weekend for the Baton Rouge Rougarou. Home tonight, home tomorrow. All-Star game next Wednesday at LSU. So we'll be talking a lot about that tomorrow on Sports Shorts Radio. We'll be at Calandro's on Government Street.
Absolutely. Money's on the way out.
Yeah, everything you need for the 4th of July. If you're grilling, you're barbecuing, you want them to cook. They bought some crabs yesterday. Everything you need from meat, seafood, sausage. I mean, they got it at Tremonti's. Now, they're not going to be open Monday or Tuesday because of the holiday, but get your stuff today, Friday, or Saturday. They're open regular hours. Loaded up, the steaks, the Chandler's Reserve meat, the wine, the whiskey. They got everything you need for your 4th of July long holiday celebration weekend.
TK, I'm over in Dallas putting a bow on things over here before I get on a plane and head back. It's, the Geico High School Baseball National Championships. The finals, by the way, tonight, 8 o'clock on ESPNU. So check it out. Lynn Rollins and Todd Walker will be on the call. Some stud baseball players in this event.
Well, I tell you what, I guess we got a lot of fans down in Jacksonville, Florida, an old teammate of mine and some of his friends, and they snapped that. I think I said it to you. They snapped a picture of you interviewing one of the high school coaches. So you were popular in Jacksonville last night.
Well, they last night for Team California, they threw the number 1 prospect in the country in 2025. He's already a Vanderbilt commit, a right-handed pitcher. There's a kid out of Massachusetts that's 6'9". He's a UConn commit, but he's either going pro or going to a better school than UConn. This kid's 93 on the bump with a breaking ball anytime he wants, called Maverick Rizzi. I was telling Jay Johnson about him. I was like, Jay, I know you guys know who this guy is, but he's the real deal. There's just so many stud players. Of the 8 teams, there's 17 or 18 players on every team. About probably 75% of the players are already verbally committed to big-time Division I colleges, and that's kids. These are kids that are either going to be juniors or seniors next year in high school. They haven't even signed yet. So, tremendous tournament. You'll get a chance to see the Florida versus California tonight at 8 o'clock on ESPNU with Todd Walker and Lynn Rollins on the call. These are the only two teams that have ever won this event. So it's going to be quite the ball game. They're playing it at Dallas Baptist University.
Sounds great, Ronnie. And look forward to seeing everybody at Pete Goldsby Field tonight and tomorrow night.
All right. Have a good one, everybody. Please like and share this video.